I'm wondering how exactly to respond if the actual police, after I'm harassed, attempt to call me a chihuahua, actually make fun of me, actually, state things that are satanic, and then simply erase the evidence, or tell cops that are not a part of whatever this strange conspiracy is that, that's all nuts. Because I'm sure that there are police officers that are not a part of this. Whatever this strange plot is to harass me when I go outside, I've found things like this among other individuals on the internet, and it seems like our United States government is attempting to harass regular citizens. This all started when I began filming chemtrails, and when I took proactive measures after I found out about something called Agenda 21. So, because of what is happening to me, obviously a normal citizen thinks I'm going to talk to the police, right? I had an uncle who was a cop, and he said, cops get a bad rap, but we're not bad people. We just have to deal with, people pulling out guns on us all the time. As long as you are doing the right thing, as long as you're being a good citizen, just explain that, and police officers are very understanding people. But it seems like that is changing, and so I am wanting to know, how exactly can I go about getting a job? How exactly can I go about even leaving the house when I immediately get told by neighbors, get back in your house, you dog, and then the actual police officers will say things like that. Specifically, chihuahua was what they said. Oh, see, look, it yaps, and it'll be like a chihuahua. Oh, and my handler cut me loose. They actually said that of their own accord. Whereas other officers will attempt to say, I'm crazy, but then in the same sentence, admit that I am correct, and then attempt to say that I am crazy. And see, if you're trying to commit an inside job, that appears to be something that seems to be an MO of a corrupt police officer. So I don't want to make your guys' lives hell like this, but if a citizen is experiencing this, what should I go about doing? Because this is affecting every area of my life, and that's why it's finally affecting you guys.
I have no idea how to help you.
And we've already gone through things like medication. I said, yes, obviously I feel anxious because of what's going on, and after I was examined, the same cops who called me chihuahuas, who called me a chihuahua, these same two officers, were making comments, attempting to see, they were saying, do we have enough to 5150 her? And I thought, you mean you're attempting to arrest me, or you're attempting to do something to me? That doesn't make sense if I'm the one who's being harassed.
Under 5150.
Well, what happened was they, according to whatever corrupt measures they were using, yes, they did. But here's what happened, and they're the record of this. Within 6 hours of showing up, within 6 hours of the actual order, whatever, I guess when you're at your house, if they take you away or something like that, which I did not resist or anything. After I went to a hospital that was in Martinez, they examined me, and it took them 6 hours through their processing and all the really crazy people that were in there, which I was clearly not. They said, oh yeah, this doesn't make any sense, and I suggested to them, I have had a good experience with a particular anti-anxiety medication, which also doubles as a psychiatric medication, and they said, that sounds like a very good idea. And the doctor said, it's clear his name was Patrick Munsar, and I can spell it because it's Patrick with a K at the end. I can spell it and everything. I have its prescription, I have the prescription bottle, everything. And what has been suggested to me is that, oh, you're schizophrenic. I know a lot about medicine. I also majored in psychology. So when people say you are schizophrenic, I say that doesn't.
A course of action to follow.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a course of action to follow, but nobody can really get any of these facts straight. So, okay. So, end of the story is within 6 hours of being brought to the hospital, they say, "This is what were they thinking?" and they sent me home in a cab for free from Martinez to San Ramon for free. So it was clear that that it wasn't really what you call a valid 5150. So at least the hospital did not agree that whatever it was valid, or that I was a danger to myself or others. I also stated clearly I am not a danger to myself. I'm not a danger to anyone else. I do not want to harm anyone else or whatever you guys are talking about with this. And they simply took, whatever matters into their own hands and kept on trying to basically make up that I pushed someone, which I didn't do. What I did is I went up to someone with my hands up at my chest level, and I said, "Please back away," because they kept on coming towards me or trying to harass me. And I put my hands up and was within less than a foot of space, but I did not push anybody or anything along those lines. And either way, the hospital said, "You're not schizophrenic. Why are they even wasting our time?" So I am wondering about a course of action. Oh, say that again? What about?
You don't necessarily have to be schizophrenic to be committed under 5150.
But, well, see, the point is that the hospital said this is a fake 5150, basically. This is not valid, and we're going to send you home. And it took them 6 hours to process everything. But they said this is not valid, basically, and we're sending you home, and we're going to even send you home for free. After all of this, after all these problems, and you being falsely accused, we're going to send you home for free. So what I am wondering is if these different things are occurring, if part of the police force either doesn't want to help, I'm going to say benefit of the doubt, or just like what any normal sane person would say is, oh, maybe they just have so much on their plate and they don't want to help. What seems suspect to me is that you guys are in on this. What seems suspect to me is that you guys appear partly in on this. So, what does that mean? I have to attempt to contact the national news and say the San Ramon Police Department is either, well, A, not responding to me being harassed, or B, that they are outright attempting to do it themselves, as well as things that appear to involve Satanism or, quote, black magic as what. These are words I'm not coming up with. This is stuff other people have said to me while harassing me and saying that the hospitals are doing it. The people in one particular hospital, I was told by the nurse that every hospital does this. We're all in this, and would make strange, I guess, goat's head symbols. That's supposed to be satanic, I understand. Now, I know this sounds literally insane to me. That's why I think, call the police. A schizophrenic person, or just a person who is crazy, they don't think call the police for help for something like this, or at least I wouldn't think they would.
Let me stop you for a minute. What can the police do about Satanism and black magic?
Well, that's where it's a you tell me, guys. We do have reports of Well, see, that's the problem. We have children being born every single day with what you would call extrasensory abilities, and I know that for a fact because my cousin, her name is Candace Zimbelman, she was born this way, and I was not. I'm just practically your average human. But then around the age of 21, I began to develop what you'd call mediumship type abilities. But still, I consider myself just a regular old person for the most part. I don't know how to see auras or whatever people talk about, but there's shows, a Long Island Medium, we've got California Psychics, we've got the Psychic of Danville. We have all of these things. If something like this is occurring and it's related to the police department participating in it, what am I supposed to do? Light some big bonfire on my balcony and start chanting to Satan to stop it? That's a joke right there. I'm just saying, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah, it's kind of out of our realm of things that we're capable
Now, well, when this involves life, this is not just about harassment.
Satanism and black magic.
Well, yeah, this isn't just about this isn't just about that. We're talking that this happens to be something that seems a part of it. I don't really know, but it's that from words that people have said to me, it seems like that's involved. But you see, this is to murder me.
Well,
this is a plot to kill me. So that's why I'm talking to the police.
To you that there's Satanism and black magic, and you're talking to me about extrasensory perception on children.
Well, what I'm telling you is that there are people attempting to assassinate me. What I'm telling you is that there are people attempting to assassinate me through assassinate. Yes, murder, assassinate me.
Satanism and black magic?
Not exactly through chemical weapons that were blown in my air conditioning. I also woke up with strange, large injection marks, which there are pictures of in the videos that I've made to attempt to document this stuff. I know that if that is what is going on, that's outside of the realm of the police. But what is within the realm of the police is a dead body or not a dead body. That is in the realm of the police. And that's why I'm taking it to you guys like this, because people are stating that they're making statements.
Who is behind this, as far as
my parents,
person?
Catherine Louise Hauer, Jerry Kihara, and then I don't know all of their names exactly, but I know the people that live underneath me were suddenly switched out. When I began, I say switched out because it was as if new people moved in overnight and then moved out. Again, it was very strange. It's almost like now this is within the realm of at least the police or military, like when they assassinated Osama bin Laden. What I seem to be experiencing are things that are very sudden, like that, or having objects thrown at me from out of nowhere, which that is beyond me. But what I can say, which is within the realm of the police, is when I will go outside and when I'm harassed, it's not just that I'm called some kind of dog or made reference to as a slave. They will also, these different people will also make repeated comments about my lifespan and how I will die very soon because of whatever strange things that they are doing. So regardless of what the MO is, whatever their MO is, that's something I'm not even sure. I mean, I'd like your guys' help to figure out how are they doing this? How are things being blown at me through my vent, and how do I know that's true? Because I had to run outside multiple times suffocating from turning on the air conditioning, and that would never happen before. And also a blue light would come on the air conditioning as if to taunt me almost. Now, I don't know exactly about that, but basically people stating that you're not going to be alive for much longer or you're going to die and things like that. Those were things that were that have been said to me repeatedly. So that's where I think to myself, hey, I should tell the police about this, regardless of whatever weird, quote, supernatural whatever could be going on. If people are actually making threats like that and saying that, she doesn't have much longer to live, like, yeah, you don't have much longer to live, and saying it in that kind of tone, that's threatening. And it seems to occur very frequently whether or not I go out or not. I've thought to myself, how about I just stay inside or something? And if I open a window, I will still, hear people yelling at me through the window. If I keep the windows closed, well, then what I just said about chemical warfare starts to happen, where I end up choking and running outside of the house with whatever is blown in the vent. My suspicion is it's carbon monoxide, but I'm not really sure.
Have you had it tested?
I'm not sure how do I do that. Is there a way to have it tested?
Carbon monoxide testing unit at the hardware store.
Well, you see, I have those, and what's interesting is that the light will actually flash But they will not go off or go beep, 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 that would wake up everyone. And this often happens at night. I'll wake up in the middle of my sleep, half suffocating. I'll run over to the temperature gauge because I'm in the reflections apartments. They're all pretty much made the same. Right next to the temperature gauge is a carbon monoxide unit, and it will show its light blinking. But it won't actually be going off. And very strange things will occur with the temperature gauge where it will almost as if it's attempting to order me to do something. It will blow the carbon monoxide. I'll wake up suffocating, and I will look at the temperature gauge, and an arrow will be pointed to sleep or away or home, which appears to refer to go outside, go in the bedroom, or go in your living room. From whoever is doing this, whoever is hacking into these systems. I'm not sure what kind of technology a person needs for that, but that's why I'm bringing you guys into this at all, because I'm not sure how to respond to something like this.
Makes two of us.
Yeah, okay. Well, at least I'm not alone here then. I am completely confused by all of this, and I have repeatedly thought to myself, well, could I be mistaking the situation? That's something that anyone with a psychotic type disorder is not really capable of doing. And so, I mean, do you have any advice for how to go out of the house without being...
psychologist or, some sort of group that can help, maybe set up some testing equipment in your house and find out if this, if there is anything amiss that's going on there.
Well,
the police don't have anything like that. We don't operate on that level. So I'm not sure how we can help you with any of this stuff.
With stuff that is chemical. Okay, stuff that is chemical weapons.
So
okay. Well, so how do you prove something if it's not a picture or audio?
Well, we'd have to test. We'd have to be, some way to test this stuff. So that's my question. And I have no experience in any of this kind of stuff. I mean, and I've been a cop for 25 years, and I'm telling you, we just don't work on that level.
Yeah, well, see, here's one thing that's also been disturbing me is, I used to see a very good psychologist, and she's down in, I believe it's Mountain View, and my mom used to drive me to her, and so I would start to tell her, this was before these things began to happen to me, but I would tell her, it seems like my mother doesn't have my best interests in mind. She repeatedly attempts to prevent me from getting a job. She repeatedly attempts to prevent me from having a car. Even though I can drive perfectly fine and have a license, she repeatedly attempts to prevent me from having friends, even though I'm, at the time I would say I'm 25 years old. I mean, this doesn't make any sense, 26 years old. And the psychologist would say, it sounds like you're completely right. And so then she would see both of us together. My mother wouldn't want to go, though, and only maybe went twice. And she would insist that, oh, you can't see that psychologist anymore, because they were agreeing with me over there was something clearly wrong. And this was a psychologist that I didn't just see once or something. Yes, but if you're the problem is I don't need to be seeing a psychologist for these problems. I need somebody to stop them. Some people who are supposed to be protecting citizens to stop them. All the psychologist was able to tell me is, Krista, you're right. That was all that they were able to tell me. But going to a psychologist now and saying, well, these other things that you heard me talk about and you said they were right. Now also you said I don't need anyone's permission. Well, yeah, I don't need someone's permission to go. But if it's impossible to get there without my mother or brother or somebody driving me, and they are the ones, not my brother, but my mother, and my stepfather, the primary ones who appear to be assassinating me. And even the police even said this right out in the parking lot probably a couple days ago. They said, sounds like someone's out to get you. And they said it like a joke. I mean, and I think, hey, I had an uncle who was a motorcycle cop. You guys are taking human life as if it's just nothing. I mean, have you seen too many shootings? I didn't think we were like that in San Ramon, okay? I didn't think we were, we're not like Oakland. We're not like Berkeley. We're not like this, crazy places. So,
are we talking about a shooting here? Is that what we're talking about?
well, that was one threat that was made to me, actually. I was threatened by sent a being sent an email saying that basically people wanted to shoot me. And this is going to sound really bizarre. In the email it said, and a clone will take over you. I said, what are you even talking about, was what I thought there. A clone of me. What? That goes into, like, I don't even know what that was. So it sounds like there are crazy people after me. Because whatever these people are saying, also the construction worker, a construction worker who I know his name is Roberto. He looked at me, pointed at me, and said, "You know who I am? I am the devil, and I am coming to get you." And I thought, what? Okay, and you people say that I am telling you stop bothering me. Okay, and you say that you're the devil. You should be 5150'd here, man. What I'm trying to figure out mostly is just how I can protect myself. But I know that staying inside doesn't protect me. Going outside, different neighbors who I've identified certain neighbors who appear to be involved with this, who will follow me around or yell comments at me that are abusive, or say you don't have much longer to live and things like that. So it's kind of like if these things are happening, and a psychologist, after police attempt to 5150 me, say, "Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with you," and I describe the entire thing to them, say this person said I am the devil, and I said, "Excuse me, what are you? What? You look like a person to me. You look like a construction worker, a Mexican guy to me, and you're saying you're the devil. That's a little weird." So do you have any idea for how I can protect myself? Because this goes beyond just harassment, whether verbal or whatever, God forbid, this whatever Satanism thing is, where people have actually made repeated comments about killing me. That is where my main concern comes from. So,
Krista, I have to tell you, I don't think the police can help you at this point. As much as I hate to say that, I would like to, give you a course of action, or, give you something that you can, grasp onto. But at this point, I really don't have a whole lot of answers for you, and I'm sorry about that.
Also, can you give me your name, officer?
Sergeant Michael.
Sergeant. I don't know. I didn't know the difference between that. Sorry, because my uncle was Officer Kihara, so I wasn't sure how exactly it works. So Sergeant Michael Kincaid.
O'Day.
Oh, Sergeant Michael O'Day. Well, it was very nice talking to you. Is there anything else that you can think of, maybe off the top of your head? Because I'm not sure what to do with this whole thing.
I would look through. There's got to be some sort of a, department at one of the local universities that may have, some answers for you as far as monitoring equipment or things that might help you put your mind at ease. But at this point, I think it's out of the realm of the police's ability to do a whole lot about it. The threats that you're telling me are very generalized. People that are calling themselves the devil and things like that. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. I mean, people are cruel and they're weird and they're strange, and a lot of odd things come out of their mouths. I mean, unfortunately, the vast majority of it is not breaking the law.
Yeah.
So, like I say,
well, see, that's
I'm at a loss.
This is where I get confused too, because
I wish I could give you a direction to go in, but at this point, I really don't think that we're going to be able to help you.
Well, see, when this one problem that I have to bring up, because I don't want to cause you guys continued problems here. when I go outside, or when I'm sleeping and people start yelling outside, or not, or saying things loudly so that they know I can hear it through the window about how I don't have much longer to live and such. When I go downstairs and I tell those people, hey, stop doing this, they attempt to call the police, and then different officers will attempt to harass me. That's why I'm calling back after the police just came to my door. One of those police officers I recognized, Officer Han, and I remembered a particular incident, and I said, he asked me, have I not treated you with respect? And I said, well, no, I feel that you haven't treated me with respect. And he said, well, then we're done here. And it's I mean, this is almost reminiscent of Rodney King in a way, that there is some sort of, well, reminiscent of Rodney King, if you think about it, of police acting in ways that are inappropriate towards regular civilians, or somehow harassing or targeting regular civilians.
Han is quite frustrated because he's probably in the same position that I am. He is unable to give you a resource or a direction, but you can go and you can get your issues, solved. But Rodney King, I think, is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, well, I mean, from an overt physical standpoint, but just well, Sergeant, just so you know, it appears that there are people in your force that are being abusive to civilians. And you see, the other civilians can say, oh, but she yelled at me. Well, I was not yelling at anybody until they were first provoking me. I don't go out and, provoke people. That when things are done to me, I said to the cops who showed up, I said, guys, do you just expect me to lie down and die? I mean, with whatever here is going on, I don't know, with all the supernatural stuff, I mean, it sounds nuts, and I'll let you get off the phone, to get back to things where you know that you can concretely prove them. But I said, look, with this whole supernatural type thing, I don't know what's going on. And then half of the police force would attempt to dog me even further, or would actually say, like I said, oh, look, it's a Chihuahua, without me mentioning that that's a code used for a particular type of alien. I haven't mentioned aliens or anything yet, but
a Chihuahua is a code for an alien?
Not exactly. Dog. The word dog is a code used by reptilians, from what I have discovered, at least on the internet. But you can never quite believe what you read on the internet, of course. But what would be so shocking?
You're visiting internet sites that I don't visit too often. I think never.
But basically, also whatever the name of the female officer was, I couldn't see her badge. She actively made fun of my deceased uncle, who was a Berkeley motorcycle cop, and I mean, that makes me really upset.
Sure, but
and so the officer there, I said, look, I don't feel comfortable with your partner, and he said, why? I said, it's because she made fun of my deceased my deceased uncle, who was a Berkeley motorcycle police officer, and you can tell when you listen to me talk about it that I really care about that. And to have the police, it's like, even if you don't know what to do, we should be attempting to figure out a solution, even if, say, there are certain things you can't talk about. I know that whatever kind of inside job my parents have brewing, or whatever this is, that whatever this harassment is, and then threats on my life, I know that I am going to stay alive and protest it. So I'm just. Is there anything else that you can think of? Because what the officer said is, oh, well, we're done here. But if the other people harass me and then call the police and attempt to say that I did something wrong, how do I defend myself? I'm not sure how to defend myself if that's some kind of weird inside job.
Well, like I said, the police deal with violations of the law, and if they show up and they can't determine that there's a violation of the law, in most cases, they're pretty much finished, and they go on to the next problem. And when a police officer tells you we're done here, it's like he has reached a dead end. He has no other resources or direction, and he closes that out as an unsatisfied customer and goes on to the next one.
Oh, I never felt unsatisfied customer. Did you guys think of it that way? That was something that my uncle never.
Believe it or not.
That was something my people. Did people actually say I'm a customer? I didn't think of that idea there. So I guess, well, thank you for your advice, Sergeant. I suppose, I mean, what I'm just not sure what to do about is when they show up, what they will do is they will attempt
if you feel that you're in danger, call the police department. That's the best advice I can give you.
Well,
and
see, what will happen is
concrete that we can put our hands on and we can rectify. When we show up, we will definitely try to bring some kind of a resolution to the situation.
Well, see, the problem is that this needs to be done fairly, though. Other people will yell things at me, harass me, and then when I yell back at them and say, you can't do that, how dare you do this, and okay, if they flash some kind of demonic symbol at me, like you've seen artists or whatever strange things on TV, and I'll say, how dare you, you're talking about Satan or whatever this is, and then they call you guys and attempt to say that they're being harassed. Then what the police come here and do is they attempt to say that I am the one doing something wrong, when really I went outside to say, stop it, you people, stop it. I'm in my house doing nothing and you're outright harassing me. You're blowing chemical weapons through my vent or something. I wake up with strange marks on my foot or on my arm, or a large injection mark, meaning like something like from a hypodermic syringe in my arm. Wake up with strange markings on my foot, and I look in other places, and I actually find this, and things like this actually reported on the news. So the idea is, what do we have anything that we do about that?
While you're asleep? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, I will. This hasn't happened for several nights.
To monitor you while you're sleeping.
Okay, do you know the cheapest way to do that? Because finances are the big problem.
I have no idea how to do that. I'm trying to think of...
I was thinking, can I
imagine you
can I do that?
Probably do it with a camcorder that you can get at any electronics store, but hang on a second.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to have to end this. I've got
I'm sorry about that.
I'm going to have to respond to, but I hope that we can, help you the next time you call, but it sounds like it's going to be very difficult. Okay? So, I've got to go, and
okay.
I wish you the best at this point.
Thank you so much for your help, Sergeant O'Day. Thank you so much, for your time, and I'll let you get to your other call. Thank you for the good work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Right,
you're welcome. Care.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, we can see, guys, actually a somewhat pleasant interaction with the cops, but you see, they will do that, and they will do that kind of to fool you a little bit. Now, that guy, I could tell while I was talking to that guy that he really was thinking, oh geez, okay, we are completely failing to do anything to this girl, and you know what? I don't even want to be hurting her. Like, I am a sergeant, and I should be able to do things about this, but it was almost like he was saying, my hands are tied, I don't know what to do. Or when I say, I'm waking up with strange marks on my foot or injection marks in my arm, and And I thought of, how do I videotape this stuff? But if it happens astrally, it's pretty damn hard to videotape. But also, if you can't afford cameras to tap your own house over what's already been probably tapped, then that makes the whole thing difficult. Now, the video before this, where I was talking with the dispatch, was deleted. That was pretty obvious why. The woman was being a total bitch. And they realize they can see the probabilities. Oh, okay, she sees that we deleted it. Okay, let's get something on there that looks nice. What the woman from dispatch, I got it on speakerphone, but see, I realized it pretty quickly that the file had been deleted, and I thought, well, it's not going, this isn't going to happen again. And what else is eventually, cops, I'm going to be straight up interviewing you, because it seems like the way the probabilities are falling is that the people outside are continuing their stupidity, and so the cops are going to be like, oh my gosh, we have to do this over again. I mean, and that girl still wins either way. I mean, she still wins, and we're being forced to do this over again. This is stupid. So eventually, cops, I'm going to be interviewing you to ask you, how do you feel about your rights being taken away? How do you feel about what appears to be a new world order? How do you feel about these chemtrails that are being flown around our skies and destroying the ozone layer? Oh, and did you miss? It's really, really, really hot outside now, and it's never this hot in San Ramon, California like that. Especially this time of year. It's winter. Hello. That's something that I'm going to be asking you guys, and you're going to figure out some answers to it, because this is unacceptable. So everybody, all of you who are being harassed and you know that the police department is involved, just like the song, when you see my face, hope it gives you hell. If this is happening to you, you cannot shrink back into a tiny little ball. You cannot do that. If you shrink into a tiny little ball, then that's telling them, oh, hey, we can keep screwing around with that one. We can keep screwing around with that person. But if you hold your fists in the air and you say no, no, no. And also, the officer, you guys didn't get to see this, but the officer said, oh, keep your voice down. Well, excuse me, these people were keeping me up all night, and I'm sure that they just love it, because, see, whenever I walk outside, it can be 3 in the morning because I'm bored. People follow me around. So, apparently they're not really sleeping. Now, are they? So, we've had a conversation with Sergeant Michael O'Day. It seemed like he was aware that he was being recorded, so he was being very nice on purpose, you could tell. One of these days, you guys count on it, I am going to get on camera all of the disgusting, nasty, abusive things that the police have said to me. And this is kind of unfortunate, but eventually their day will come. What that means is that they are in contradiction with the light source. And because most of them are living in darkness, in order to be a cop, you have to know about this stuff. In order to be a cop, you have to know about this stuff, period. And they are under very strict orders to give those kinds of responses back to you. Even if it's a cop that actually does care and thinks, you know what, there's no reason for us to be murdering this girl. There's absolutely no reason. Even if they think that, it's like this guy was kind of acting like my hands are tied. I'm not allowed to talk about HARP. I'm not allowed to talk about Grays. I'm not allowed to talk about Zeta 1, Zeta 2. I'm not allowed to talk about the NSA. I'm not allowed to talk about any of this stuff. Crap, basically. And you are actually beating it all, and crap, my hands are tied. That was kind of like how the guy seemed to be acting. I mean, you be the judge, you were the one listening. But despite how nice he was being, I can definitely say, I will remember, okay, Sergeant Michael O'Day, if I ever see you around, I will say, you were very cordial, sir. Now, are you actually very cordial or not? Like, for example, people can tell me in these videos, it's me, I mean, I'm wearing a nightgown. Me in the raw. Me without, any happy special makeup half the time. Just getting the truth out there, because philosophers want to know what is the truth, or what could be the truth. And so this is one of our ways of doing it. So, I'll let us go, and we're going to keep on fighting against police brutality, reptilian control, gray AI control, and we will win. What the angels say is that you guys have already won. You've already won, and all you have to do is hold out. All you have to do is hold out, because you have already won. So with that, I will leave us with Arcturian philosophy, and we'll have more later. Blessings.